Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network, broadcasting today from, well, let's say not downtown Lansing. A little reminder that we will be moving in about 10 days' time out to the Lansing Regional International Airport with our studios. So we'll be seeing who's leaving town and who's coming in. Might offer an opportunity to grab a few kind of spontaneous interviews as well. But right now, anything but spontaneous, because we know how regularly we have to have this guy back on. Ryan Hundt, CEO of the Michigan Works Association. Ryan, it's always good to have you on. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, Chris. I was not aware you guys are moving out to the Lansing Regional Airport. Like you said, that'll be an awesome location. I'd love to visit the studio sometime for one of these interviews. We can get back to doing them in person maybe sometime in the near future.
Well, you'll absolutely have to do that, and it's a twofold circumstance. It gives us a little higher profile for people moving through, but the airport is excited to have us out there because of the people we'll bring into the studio, like yourself, for interview, and they like that for the airport as well. So we'll see how that all goes. I think it's going to be wonderful. You know, as we move through the fall here, several $billion yet to be allocated by the state. What are Michigan Works priorities on behalf of its members and workforce system?
Sure. We have a few priorities right now that we have been communicating with lawmakers and key stakeholders. I think right now, the legislature and the governor's office have done a tremendous job, especially these last couple of months. There was one supplemental budget that was passed a few weeks ago that focused on economic development. And really what that was meant to do was keep Michigan competitive for some of these large scale business investment projects that we're working on. We saw a recent project that was announced with Goshen Inc. up in the Big Rapids area that incentive programs like the SOAR Fund will help achieve long-term for us here in Michigan and keep us on the short list for those types of projects. What we do know, however, as well, is that to help set Michigan on the path toward long-term economic resiliency and prosperity, we need the workforce that can work in those positions, especially high-tech, high-wage positions, and also helping individuals get the training they need so they can take advantage of those positions and those opportunities when they come about. And so the priorities that we have laid out in our fall legislative priorities, with several $1 billion still on the table to be allocated. One would be around short-term skills and credentials. This is a significant need that we have heard from the business community for the past several years, quite frankly. They need not only individuals with 4-year degrees and 2-year degrees, but they also need people that can go into shorter term training opportunities, and they can earn skills and credentials along the way, hopefully, laddering those skills on top of one another so that they can achieve long-term economic prosperity by going into some of these high demand occupations.
Well, it's kind of,
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead. I was just going to make a comment on that, but I
Sure,
will.
sure. I was going to say the other two priorities that we have, the second would be around youth employment experience. We have some awesome events that take place each year, like My Career Quest, which brings together thousands of students in high school, and they connect them with real hands-on demonstrations in some key industry sectors like IT, manufacturing, and construction. So scaling successful models of those youth employment experience programs statewide. And then the third and final priority we have is enhancing the digital and physical infrastructure across our workforce system here in the state to ensure that we're providing robust services to both employers and job seekers in an ever-evolving economy.
So what do you hope these priorities are going to accomplish if you're funded?
If they're funded, we hope that these priorities accomplish exactly what the private sector is clamoring for right now, which is more talent, better equipped talent from a training aspect, and also ensuring that the youth that are coming through our talent pipeline in the K through 12 system and beyond have the knowledge, have the skill sets they need to be successful in a 21st century economy.
So are there other organizations that are supportive of these budgetary asks?
Sure. We've actually put together a coalition of key partners in the public and private sector that are rallying around these legislative priorities. These organizations include not only the Michigan Works Association and our members, but they also include the Michigan Chamber of Commerce, the Small Business Association of Michigan, also some private sector partners like Ford Motor Company, Stellantis, and Magna, and many others as well. And we're continuing to grow that coalition in the coming weeks as we continue engaging in conversations with our lawmakers in Lansing.
Well, you mentioned the automakers. You guys are the fuel for their production, actually, because if they don't have people, they're not going to do it.
Right.
So how can folks learn more about Michigan Works and your legislative priorities? Because I think people need to remember you're the watchdog at that Capitol.
Right. Yeah. If you'd like to learn more on our legislative priorities or get involved in any way, shape, or form, feel free to visit our website at www.michiganworks.org. You can find our federal and state legislative priorities, and also there's ways for you to get connected to our team here at the Michigan Works Association. We'd love to add more members to that workforce coalition this fall, and we'll continue communicating these priorities with all of our key stakeholders here as we look to allocate the remainder of those several $billion in public spending.
It's kind of interesting, and we've only got about 30 seconds here, but comment on the fact that how much the job of Michigan Works has changed. I mean, there was a time when we were training people so they could go be competitive with other applicants. Now we're actually mining for people because there's not enough of them.
Right. And that's exactly why these priorities are going to help ensure that as we're looking to reach more folks and cast a wider net, again, focused on short-term skills and credentials, getting them acclimated with the jobs of today into the future. That's what our priorities are going to accomplish.
Well, I'm sure you will, because you've done it so far. Ryan Hundt, CEO, Michigan Works Association, headquartered in Lansing, Michigan. Always good to spend time with you. Keep up the good work, my friend.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. You've been watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. We'll be back with more.